Today I'm joined by Hannah Smith, a delivery executive at Quanta. She has 8 years of recruitment experience and 2.5 years of recruiting for life sciences around the globe. Hannah's focus is sourcing candidates, working closely with our sales team, building relationships with her network, and providing top candidate care throughout their placement. Hannah is excellent at her job, and you can tell by her passion for the job that she truly loves what she does. Hannah works 100% remotely from the Midlands, so I grabbed the chance to talk to her when she was at our Hertfordshire HQ. Hi Hannah, thank you for joining me. I just wanted to talk to you about what it is actually like recruiting for life sciences, and maybe it might be the career for someone out there that's listening. So tell us a bit about your background and what led you to specialise in life sciences.
Yeah, so having worked in recruitment for a total of 8 years now, I've gained a lot of knowledge in general engineering, various industries. Used to work in a manufacturing environment as well. So that was welding for automotive car parts. So actually having worked in a manufacturing environment, working with different teams across the company, like quality, maintenance, I gained a lot of experience and knowledge to how those individuals and different teams work, how it all comes together to produce the end product, which is quite generic over plenty of different industries, really, which gave me a head start into the recruitment world. Having left my previous recruitment job due to COVID, it did take me a while to find a new stable job, and considering the industry at the time, because there was so much uncertainty. So joining Quanta and joining the life sciences industry, it was a good move, a stable industry to work in, and due to the ongoing needs, especially during the pandemic that went on.
Yeah, and you've definitely flourished in your role of DE here. And obviously, you've had transferable skills from your previous job, so
Yeah,
fitted in nicely.
yeah.
What you do in your sourcing for life sciences professionals, what are some of the unique challenges and opportunities in recruiting for the projects within life sciences compared to like other sectors?
Yeah, so I'd say it's a very fast-paced environment, which is what I like. I like to keep busy, so it suits me perfectly. It's a very interesting industry. I'm constantly learning. You can relate to certain projects in line with certain drugs they're producing, for example. I've got a family member of mine who's unfortunately suffering with blood cancer. He's actually on some of the treatment that one of our clients is producing in Europe at the moment. Challenges wise, I'd say more the projects are very, very specific. There are very specific requirements, experience, taking into consider regulations that are required to fill these specific roles. So you do have to be thorough when pre-screening consultants just to find the right match with the right experience.
So, walk us through a typical recruitment process for the roles that we have. Like, what are the key steps involved from initial contact to placement?
Yeah, so firstly, knowing the job and the client you're hiring for is so important, not only to understand the experience required, but also to have to consider the type of person that they're looking to fit into the company culture and their values. Once you have a full understanding of this, you can then source the correct person for the job. I find it's very, very good to build relationships with the people we speak with, dig deep on their pains, their goals, personally what they're looking to achieve. It's then a matching process. So discussing the role and the client in full detail with them. We support consultants with the submission to the client, making sure we highlight all the key experience related to the role and keep the consultant informed throughout the hiring process. And one thing that Quanta does is slightly different to any other recruiter that I've worked for previously, is we offer a full candidate care service. So even though the candidate's placed, we keep in contact with them through the whole duration of their contract.
It's about like building those like long-lasting relationships. Isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and working obviously closely with the sales team, so you know the roles that they've given you, you know them inside out. And you
That's
do.
it. Yeah. If they don't know, then we've got
Yeah.
no hope. That's it. So, yeah, the information, firstly, is so important.
Yeah. So, how do you source the best talent for the specialised positions? Obviously, they are quite, like we said, quite specific. So, are there specific tools, strategies that you find most effective? Like, what works for you?
Yeah, so I've grown a huge network of people across many different work streams, and that's worldwide. My first port of call when working a new position is to go back through the people that I have a relationship with already. These are warm calls. We know each other. We know each other's, what their pains are, what they're specifically looking for. And it's great to network these people as well. So even if they're not suited or they're not interested, they may know somebody to recommend to us. We have our referral fees in place, and they're there for a reason, and they do work really, really well. But should this not produce the outcome that I need, I'll then utilise our database to source talent. And we've got a very strong collection of skilled individuals on there that's been built for many years. And then utilising tools such as LinkedIn would be the sort of biggest platform that I use to source talent. We've not previously engaged with, so it's reaching out to new people. And then, of course, we have our fantastic marketing team, Faye,
Thank you.
to help attract new talent, advertise and get the word out there, basically.
So when you're looking for these individuals, what are some of the biggest red flags you look out for when evaluating candidates for projects?
Yeah, so I'd say having worked in recruitment for some time now, you do get a feel for clients' pet hates and dislikes, for example. I would say it mostly comes down to what we call lumpy CVs. This meaning people sort of who chop and change jobs or projects. It impacts the length of time sort of spent in a role. So this is something a lot of our clients will push back on and ask us the reasons why. Now, I'm sure we can all appreciate people can take a job, and unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't turn out as expected or promised. I've been there myself, but if it's more of a reoccurring pattern, then it does raise red flags. Purely, the client's looking for these people to commit to a long-term project, for example. They don't want people who are going to chop and change and leave halfway through the project. So reviewing a CV and sort of not seeing certain experience on their CV, for example, doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have it. It's always worth picking up that phone and just asking the question. The phrase I like to use with people is, if it's not on your CV, then the client will assume you don't have the experience. So I'll always ask the person before submitting their CV to the client, add as much information, pass them the job spec, anything on the actual spec that can utilise, they can get into their CV, make it quite clear. Some CVs may need tailoring to certain jobs as well, if they're quite, I suppose, if they've worked in different roles, and they're looking to get into a certain specific role, it may be tailoring for that specific requirement. So it's all about how you feel the CV looks and how it aligns to the requirements, and what the client's looking for. So attention to detail is really key in recruitment.
So beyond the technical qualifications, what are some of the essential soft skills that someone needs to be successful in a life sciences project?
Yeah, so be able to work well in their own initiative, but then also work well within a team as well, depending on obviously the needs of the business, having an understanding of how other departments work, how they all collaborate together, enjoying the industry they work in, and having the right attitude to learn. And there's a lot of flexibility for needs of the project, for example. So many people will want to complete their work remote nowadays, which I appreciate. I do it myself. However, the flexibility on that side needs to be there for the needs of the project, and what the client needs, basically. I hear a lot of people say, yeah, I could do this from home, there's no point to be on site. And whilst I appreciate, yes, you could do, but it really comes down to the client and their needs and what they're expecting from that individual.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk more about recruitment and your role. What skills do you think are most beneficial in your role to be successful? And what skills have maybe you've sharpened in at Quanta or you've gained while you've been here?
Yeah, so top one, organisation. It's key. You need to be on top of where you're at. I mean, if that means writing it down on an old school on a piece of paper, that's fine. Or having a certain system, Excel sheet, for example, mind maps, like whatever works for you. It's really, really key to stay on top of everything. Teamwork and working together as one team. Teamwork makes the dream work, after all. But yeah, making sure you've got the relationship with the sales team, but then again, reaching out to marketing. We've got our compliance team, making sure that they can work compliantly in said country. I mean, recruitment never stops. So it does mean working longer hours if you want to see those results. So calling people outside of working hours, for example, people have got different time zones, different countries. It's just making sure you're completely clear on who you're calling and what time it is, and mixing it up if needs be to get hold of people. being proactive and sort of helping your future self by implementing ways which are going to help you. So if you know there's an upcoming project, you can do more of a forward loading piece, and it's only going to benefit yourself for when that project comes live. You've got a pool of candidates you can reach out to straight away. You know they're interested. It's a quick call, and you can get CV submitted over to the client.
So, what are some of the best ways, do you think, for like job seekers or someone looking to get into recruitment to make them stand out in the competitive field like life sciences recruitment to beat the competition?
I would say as much information is added onto your CV and your application, and go into detail of, I mean, if you've got previous recruitment experience, for example, what were you working on? I mean, as I say myself, it was more permanent recruitment and just UK based before. Now I've gone into more of the contracting world and working worldwide, which is something I learned, but it was quite clear on my CV what I had been working on before. If you're not coming from a recruitment background and you're looking to get into recruitment, I would say if it's more of a sales background, it could be car sales, estate agency, whatever it may be. You've got that aspect of sale, collating information, speaking to people. It's a matching process as well. You know, you're matching a car to a person, a house to a person. It's the same. It's a job to a person.
Yeah.
It's all about that customer service skills and computer skills, telephone manner. You know, it's easy transferable skills that you can utilize into recruitment. So I'd be quite clear on anything in regards to customer service, skill sets in regards to IT that are really going to help you thrive within recruitment.
So, for someone interested
Yeah.
in this career path, what resources or training would you recommend to equip them with the necessary skills?
Get organised. If you're not organised, you're going to struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be prepared to work hard and make the most of every working hour in the day. Recruitment doesn't come easy. You have your ups, you have your downs, and you've just got to shrug it off and carry on. You need to make sure you're building your network, and that will take time. When I first started in recruitment, I didn't have a network of people. I was, speaking to brand new people I'd never spoken to before. But as you start to build that network and those relationship with those people, you're building up your LinkedIn network, you're building up the network on the system. It's very easy to have these conversations with people that you've already engaged with previously. And just don't be afraid to pick up the phone. It's really easy to send an email, but if you need a quick answer, it's just pick up the phone and get speaking to these people.
Yeah. And I've been in sales myself, but I've never done recruitment. But you do have to become resilient.
Mm-hmm.
And that's.
It is taking it on the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes a while.
Yeah. It's not an easy ride.
No, but it happens. You have to just let it wash over you.
That's it.
Yeah, but again, organisation is king, isn't it? So, what are the most rewarding aspects of your role, being life sciences delivery executive, other than winning DE of the quarter again? She did just win, so have to mention it. What do you think are the most rewarding aspects?
Well, obviously, the commission. It's obviously hitting targets and, gaining your quarterly bonuses. Like there's endless ways to increase your money take home, your commission at the end of the month, just by, working hard and putting in that extra effort. Personally as well, the satisfaction. Get my words out, long day. The satisfaction of helping someone secure a new role and them thanking you and just being so excited about it. There's nothing better than having someone who's got some pains in the role they're in and telling you what they really, really want, and you delivering that job and them starting their dream job. It just makes you feel great. And just the building of relationships. I love speaking to people, so this is why I love recruitment. And as I said previously, just constantly learning. Like there's so much to learn out there, these new projects that are coming through, and every single role that I work, I'm interested to know exactly what that means. And it's just easy to watch a quick YouTube video and you know what they do. And it interests me. So
that's like really important, isn't it? So, like being interested in what you're doing and like loving what you do.
Yeah.
And especially with you're a really bubbly person, so it's quite obvious that you would be able to build the rapport that you need to be all the DEs are the same, though. All the delivery executives are like that. I think it's just
Yeah.
like how you've got to be. So, can you share a specific example that you just mentioned, successfully placing someone? Is there a specific placement that you're particularly proud of? Obviously, we can't mention names, but if there's a scenario that you hold dearly.
Yeah, I would say I placed a new IT director for a project we had in the Netherlands. He was placed in a senior level position, and he ended up being one of our client contacts. So, one of our in the sales team, he ended up being our go to person for hiring on that project when we placed him. I'd already built the relationship with him, and the process sort of worked great. So, following this, we kept in contact. He then finished, and we managed to repot him again with another client of ours in France. And he was again going to be our hiring manager. So we managed to expand that project as well. So we built a great relationship, and I even get a WhatsApp from him on Christmas Day, which was lovely.
So
So
nice.
yeah, it's that rewarding piece, like I say,
Yeah.
and gaining lots of success from referrals of consultants we've got placed. Hearing that they're enjoying their time, and then they want to get their friends onboarded. So it's always a question of who do you know, who have you worked with, and it works very, very well.
That's so nice. Final question about recruitment. So, what advice would you give to someone if you had one piece of advice considering a career in life sciences recruitment?
Yeah, it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. It's busy, it's fast paced, and it does have its ups and downs. But if you can get your head down, work hard, pick up that phone, I would advise anyone to get involved. It's a very rewarding job, but you need to be super organized and know just when to take a step back and just reevaluate.
Mm.
Just don't stress. And yeah, it's just taking the good with the bad, really.
Yeah, excellent. So, some bonus questions, more life science related, but are there any emerging technologies or innovations that are impacting the recruitment landscape in life sciences?
I would say the only thing that worries me slightly is this AI. I'm kind of
Yeah.
concerned they're going to take my job, or at least take the bulk of it. But yeah, nothing beats, as I say, picking up the phone and speaking
Yeah.
to these people directly. So I don't think anything can beat that, really.
No. And I think with the AI that we spoke about before, when it first came out as Chat GPT, and I always used to write quite a lot of blogs, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's
Yeah.
going to take my job. So, what's your take on the future of life science projects and how they might affect recruitment trends in this area?
So there seems to be quite a few projects in the same sort of locations at the moment. Investment is the most significant that we've ever seen in biopharma. There's expansions, new builds, but with the demand and technology, this is going to become more prominent. For example, the obesity drugs are in high demand in certain countries at the moment. Gene therapy tends to be more smaller scale projects, but when they get upscaled, there's a need for certain skill set in those areas. And what we're going to see is that we need to have more new people and doing these sort of apprenticeships, for example. So training these people up. Back end of the summer last year, we've been supporting a large scale project out in Europe, and we needed 40 engineers to join a huge expansion, and we could look at quite junior level people that could go in and get that project experience, progress within their careers, and have that skill set. These large projects on their profile are just going to help them thrive. So yeah, junior sort of individuals. It's that coaching and mentoring piece. I mean, there's always going to be a skill shortage, but bringing new people into the industry that need that project and that time for mentoring and time for coaching to help them to progress to these extremely skilled individuals that we need. Projects are only going to continue to grow. There's no signs of it slowing down. And it kind of releases the pressure on the market, some more development in skill sets to bring people into the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, we always hear shortage, but I guess it's getting people that are younger that
Yeah,
is pushing them into these industries,
yeah.
and then yeah, upskilling them. And finally, do you have any thoughts or resources you'd like to share with our listeners who are interested in learning more about life sciences recruitment?
Yeah, I would say take a look at the Quanta website for a start.
Yeah.
I know you've done a lot of posting on blogs. We do quite a lot of sort of information. on that side of things. So there's a lot of information on our website, not just about the jobs we've got available, but you can read all about certain aspects of different work streams we work in, different countries, and get sort of a feel for the types of things that we recruit for. The LinkedIn groups are very good as well. So getting involved and getting added to all these groups, life sciences groups on LinkedIn, some key information on there, posting about new drugs being released or new projects being released. For example, it gives people an insight to how busy the industry is. And I signed up to the likes of Fierce Pharma,
Mhm.
which send me a few emails every couple of weeks with just the latest information of what's going on in the industry,
Yeah.
and where the hotspots are. And it just gives you an insight to how everything's developing, where the hotspots are, like I say, and where to target really. So not only does it help our sales team, it's good for us to know this information as well. So we know where to target for consultants, for example. So yes, we can target the client side, but it's also where is the hotspots for these specific individuals with these specific requirements. For example, if projects are coming to an end and we know people's contracts are going to be ending soon, we can utilize them. We know what dates we're working
Mm.
with and basically repot them into new projects going forward.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Hannah. You've given me so much information.
That's quite all right.
I hope you've inspired people to work in life sciences recruitment.
Join Quanta.
Thank you so much. What an absolute pleasure it was to chat with Hannah and to learn even more about the life sciences industry, as well as the role of the delivery executives in our business. If you'd like to know more about how you can join us and become a successful delivery executive like Hannah, get in contact with our talent acquisition team at talent@quanta-cs.com. If you work in life sciences industry and want to work with us, or maybe you're looking for the perfect contract role, maybe you'd like to get involved with the podcast, please go to the show notes for full details.